Okay, so this is my Ahsoka episode 3 review. So it starts off with Sabine being trained by Yang on lightsaber techniques. And he would call out a technique and she would show how to, and she would execute the technique in theory. And he had 4 lightsabers. These were holographic lightsabers. And Ahsoka comes in, and Yang, who has all the tact of a wet rag, decides to say, not bad, but not good. So he started being nice. So Sabine mentioned what Huyang said to her, and Ahsoka's like, "Wait, you said that?" Because that's. It's like, but that's just logical. Yeah, they need to reprogram Huyang to understand emotion because, ouch. I mean, yes, technically that's true, but you could have been nicer about it. Humans, people are not machines. They have feelings. You don't do that. But anyway. So, Ahsoka suggests that she put on what actually looked like a fencing mask. I mean, granted, it was so you couldn't see it all, but it was similar to like a welding kind of fencing mask type thing. And it did look like it had flaps, but apparently, no, actually they don't, because she said the exact same thing Luke said. I can't see in this thing. How am I supposed to fight? Word for word. So, yes, that was a callback to the original trilogy when Obi-Wan was teaching Luke how to sense the Force. And Ahsoka was doing something similar, only with her it was more of a fight me while you're blind type thing. So it was kind of the same thing, but not exactly. And Sabine failed miserably. And so, but Ahsoka talks to Huyang because they try again. Then they sit down for tea, and Ahsoka calls to her cup, and she mentioned that everybody has a connection to the Force. It's just that some people have the talent to access that. So, at the moment, I guess Sabine doesn't have the talent because she even said, "I do not feel the Force at all." Actually, which makes me wonder how anyone decided she was Force sensitive to begin with. Again, like I've mentioned before, I never watched the animation shows, so I know that it was hinted at, but I don't know how. So she, after Ahsoka leaves Dr. Liang, she tries to call the cup towards her the way Ahsoka did, and fails miserably. So Ahsoka and Huyang are talking about how she would never be accepted in the academy, and Ahsoka admitted that the main reason she's teaching her isn't for her to become a Jedi. She's not interested in the Force part. She just wants to teach her how to fight. And if the Force comes to her in the meantime, awesome. And at least that's how I understood it. Maybe she just meant that, like Ahsoka, she's not a Jedi. So, um, so then they call in Sabine, and they're in a dogfight. Well, first they're talking to Hera. Hera had gone up to meet Mon Mothma, and she was warned about one of the senators who was going to be there. And I didn't catch the name, as you guys who have been watching this channel for a while are aware. When it comes to Star Wars, I suck at names. I have to hear the names for a couple of episodes before it clicks. Same thing with planets. I'm just bad at it. But anyway, so Hera wants resources to go after Thrawn. The senator that she was warned about basically called her out saying, "Oh, are you sure you're not just trying to find your friend Ezra?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, Ezra went missing with Thrawn, but my main concern is Thrawn. I do not want another war." And he tries to mock her. She just calls him back out on his bullshit. You know, it's like, "Oh, did you fight in the war, or are you just an opportunist?" Ouch. On the one hand, good for her. On the other hand, it's not just Mon Mothma's decision. You could see on her face. She asked her about Jason. She asked her about Chopper. She asked about family. But, so she actually cares about Hera as a person. And you could see on her face that she's concerned about Thrawn. She trusts Hera. But you could hear that she's going to be outnumbered. Everybody else is mocking Hera because, "Oh, you're just wanting to find your friend. Thrawn is dead," even though there is absolutely no reason to believe he is. But it's been decided Thrawn is dead, and, they're just chasing ghosts, blah, blah, blah. So, that went over as well as you could expect. And Mon Mothma's like, "Let me, talk it over with my colleagues." And since Mon Mothma seems to be the only one who seems to actually worry about this, I don't think anybody was surprised that Hera got onto the hologram and told them, "Yeah, not helping you because I was turned down by the council." And Sabine seemed surprised that Hera was going through the council. Does she not know that Hera is a general? That she's working within the Republic? The New Republic? Not that she's just can go off half-cocked? I mean, I'm sure eventually she's going to do that because, Hera wants to help her friends. But, of course, she's going to want to go through the proper channels. So, in the middle of it, they lose contact with her. And as they're flying, they get attacked. And so Huyang ends up going. Well, Huyang is in the passenger side. Ahsoka is driving, and Sabine goes to the other side for target practice, a la Luke Skywalker on the Millennium Falcon. And Sabine was, being catty with Ahsoka. I was like, "Oh, I see you got rid of all my presets. I had no need for that." And Sabine's basically like, "Yeah, right. Okay, whatever." And so she yells out, "I got one. again, just like Luke, I was expecting Ahsoka to say, "Don't get cocky." I really was expecting that. But no, she did not say that. She just said, "Good job." And Huyang, they seem to be um, snipping at each other. So Huyang points out that they kind of need to work together to make this work. So Ahsoka starts asking her, "What do you need from me? What do you want me to do?" And so they take out all the unknown fighters, and we're left with Shin and Marok, which you knew that those two weren't going to get blown out of the sky. And so as they're chasing them, we hear Marok's voice for the first time, and it's a very modulated voice, and even more so than Darth Vader. And so they're continuing to chase them, and Huyang wants them to get close enough to the hyperdrive ring so he could do a proper test. And they're getting closer, and Huyang is also like, we're being shot at. Yeah, you wanted us to get closer. What can we do? So they get close enough. As soon as the scan gets complete, he gets shot at by Morgan Elsbeth, and he goes offline. And they end up taking quite a hit, and it seems like they're dead in space. But they're not dead, because Ahsoka. So Ahsoka and Sabine is working on fixing the ship, and Ahsoka goes out into space. At least she's wearing a spacesuit, so this isn't, they're not going all Star Trek, original Star Trek, that is, on us. They actually understand that you need a spacesuit if you're going to go outside in space. And she takes on the remaining the remaining ships, and again, Shin and Marok survive this, because of course they do. And Sabine is able to get the ship working, and Ahsoka's like, "Great, now come and get me." As she's floating in space. And so she does. She comes back in, and Shin, last week I thought that she was creeped out by Morgan Elsbeth. And it's possible she still is, but she mocked her. She's like, "That's awesome, they're still alive." And so that there is no love lost between Shin and Morgan Elsbeth. So, they realize that they need cover. So they go down to a planet, and as they're going down, they see Purgles, and Ahsoka has this big smile when she sees the Purgles, and looks at Sabine, and it's because Ezra was the one who used the Purgles to take him and Thrawn, God knows where. It was to the unknown regions, but still God knows where. And so they're flying through the Purgles as Marok and Shin are chasing them. And now this is a good reason to think that Marok is not Ezra, because Ezra can communicate with the Purgles. You would think that he would use the Purgles to capture the ship. But instead, he just, goes after him just like any other fighter. So they go through the Purgles, and then they land on the surface, and they shut down everything. All systems are shut down, including Hayang, which he tried to protest. Didn't work, but he tried. And he excuse me. And he so they're just sitting there waiting. And Sabine mentioned that she was glad to see the space whales because, well, that they reminded her of Ezra, which obviously it reminded Ahsoka too because she had a big smile. So they bring everything back online, including Hayang, and Hayang explains what this hypersonic, I think it was hypersonic, ring was, and that it is to emulate the Purgle's migratory patterns to go to this galaxy, which I assume that's where Thrawn is supposed to be. And by extension, probably Ezra. So, which begs the question why Ezra couldn't just hitch a ride on a Purgle. But he probably didn't have a spacesuit, or definitely not enough oxygen, so that would explain that. So, they're happy to find out that there's possibly a way to get through and possibly find Ezra, and of course stop Thrawn. And in the meantime, Baylan didn't appear till the end of the show, and he sends his minions to get Ahsoka and Sabine, which he seems to hold her in high regard. Are you sure you want to send your minions? Do you realize how this is going to end? Not good for them, but whatever. Maybe he figured that they'll capture Sabine because Sabine is not Ahsoka. I don't know. But anyway, we met a new character as well. When Hera gets out of her meeting, she runs into Jason. And Jason found out from Chopper that Sabine is a Jedi. Which she isn't exactly, but, she is training. And that Jason wants to become a Jedi. So it'll be interesting to find out if he'll be given a master at some point. And because I assume that, because I've heard that his father was Kanan Jarrus, who is a Jedi, was a Jedi. So I assume that he probably is somewhat force sensitive, and if nothing else, he could make Sabine even more frustrated because he'll probably catch on better. And I really, 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 really want her to meet Grogu. I seriously want her to meet Grogu. But anyway, this was a short episode, so I believe I covered everything from this, and I will see you guys in the next episode.